There's now accumulating evidence showing that different types of cancers have no mutations. Even deep sequencing analysis of certain malignant cancer types was unable to identify genes that could be attributed to cancer. There were no mutations in some cancers. Hard to explain. New information is showing that cancer driver genes are found in normal cells. In other words, normal cells in normal tissues express mutations in the so-called key genes that are supposed to drive the disease. How is it possible that normal cells could have cancer driver genes and not develop cancer? How is it possible that some raging cancers have no mutations? The somatic mutation theory has not explained or discussed this at all. There's also carcinogens that we know about that do not cause mutations, such as asbestos and some other carcinogens that are not associated with the development of cancer. Also, we have to consider the rarity of cancer in our closest primate relatives, the chimpanzees and gorillas. Cancer is extremely rare in chimpanzees. Chimpanzees are about 99% similar to us in form of protein and gene sequencing. Yet cancer is extremely rare. Indeed, there has never been a documented case of breast cancer in a female chimpanzee. Yet 46,000 women in the United States die from breast cancer each year. How is this possible? It's linked to diet and lifestyle issues. There's a non-mutagenic origin of metastatic cancer, metastatic behavior not having linked to any mutagenic origin. There are off-target effects of these so-called cancer precision drugs that are made to precisely target specific genes that are involved, yet the off-target effects are quite debilitating and life-threatening. This should not happen if these drugs are precise. Finally, the nuclear transfer, mitochondrial transfer experiments provide the strongest evidence to argue against the origin of cancer as a genetic disease. And what I have done is publish this paper, Cancer as a Mitochondrial Metabolic Disease, in the journal Frontiers in Cell and Developmental Biology. And I encourage everyone to read this paper very carefully because it presents large amounts of data that specifically argue against the gene theory of cancer and in support of the mitochondrial metabolic origin of the disease. And this slide, this cartoon simply summarizes the vast numbers of experiments that were presented in the paper. So what we have here are normal cells, and these normal cells contain a normal integrated nuclear genome, and they also have normal mitochondria in the cytoplasm so that they can regulate their physiology quite normally, both energetically and genetically. And they beget normal cells. Now, the red cells are tumor cells, and tumor cells beget other tumor cells. Tumor cells have many gene mutations in the nucleus, but they also have defects in the cytoplasm, in the mitochondria, lacking cristae or having other abnormalities. Now, is it the mutations in the nucleus that causes cancer, or is it the defects in the mitochondria of the cytoplasm that causes the cancer? These experiments were addressed quite clearly by nuclear and mitochondrial transfer experiments. So the nucleus of the tumor cell is then placed in the cytoplasm of a normal cell. And what was found is that there were normal cells produced, sometimes normal tissues, and sometimes a mouse or a frog cloned from the nucleus of a tumor cell, but these organisms showed no cancer. On the other hand, the nucleus of the normal cell was placed in the cytoplasm of the tumor cell. Rather than forming normal cells, they continued to produce either dead cells or tumor cells. These results are the exact opposite of the results predicted by the somatic mutation theory of cancer, which should have said that the origin resides in the nucleus. These should have formed tumors, and these should have not formed tumors. Also, when normal mitochondria are transplanted to cancer cells, you get no tumors. You can suppress the development of the tumor. These findings viewed together provide the strongest evidence to date that cancer cannot be a disease of somatic mutations in the nucleus. This information, together with the previous information that I just presented, provides overwhelming evidence that the disease cannot be a genetic disease.
Annotated and summarized, easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.